Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Thank you guys for joining us. So, today we are going to be talking about tapping into your inner wisdom to reduce stress. And I'll have a wonderful guest who is going to talk to us about this. But first, we have to understand that our intuition can help us reduce stress by guiding us towards decisions that align with our true needs and priorities. And by trusting our inner voice, we can set boundaries, prioritize what matters, and navigate challenges with clarity. So, practices like meditation or reflection strengthen this connection and help us create a more balanced and intentional life. But before I bring on our guests, let me introduce myself. Welcome to Unapologetically 50 Plus, where we delve into the real, raw, and rewarding experiences of Black women 50 and beyond. So, let me bring on my beautiful guest. I had the honor of taking one of her classes, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But it's Miss Alexander Winsome. She's an author, self empowerment mentor, working with trauma survivors since 2008, recognized as one of Texas' inspiring women. Wow, okay. Empathetic listener, transformational guide practicing, better known as visualization guide, and a host of the Big Up Yourself show. All right, welcome, Miss
Hey,
Alexander Winsome. I pronounced your last name
yes.
right, correct, Alex? Alexander
Actually, it's Winsome Alexander. So Winsome
Winsome
is
Alex.
my first
Oh,
name. Yeah, yeah,
oh, okay. I'm sorry,
yeah.
Miss Winsome Alexander.
In the flesh.
Thank
And
you for
you've
joining
already
us.
said it. You've already said it. I'm a self-empowerment mentor. I work with trauma survivors mainly. Been doing
Uh,
that since 2008. So the role or the hat that I'm going to be wearing in today's episode is that of visualization guide.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I watched your video, and that's what gave me the idea to do a podcast on this particular topic. And
Uh,
what was the catalyst for doing that particular podcast?
That episode was inspired by an experience I was having
Mhm.
where I was feeling a lot of anxiety in my body and around a certain thing that I was involved with at the time, having to do with work, by the way. And
Mhm.
I was feeling this intense anxiety, but it wasn't like mental per se. It was like a lot in my body. And I was like, ooh, this is uncomfortable and stuff. And then I was just thinking about what is causing me to feel like this. And I had the breakthrough the following day. There was a message trying to come through, and the
Mhm.
message came through so clearly that I understood what my body was sensing, that something was, it was trying to tell me something. So I realized the next day what it was that, and it came so clearly. And then the anxiety and the disquietedness in my body just went away.
Okay.
So, but I understand that sometimes when a message is trying to come through, you can sense that your body will vibrate almost violently. That's how hard it's trying to get the message to you. So that's
Okay.
what inspired that episode. And it was around the time of stress awareness week or month or something. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's why I made that video.
Okay. So, how often do you rely on your intuitions to make your decisions,
All
especially
right.
during your stressful situation?
Right, right. And so I am going to answer your question, but I do want to back up and give people, since we're talking about intuition, let me say what intuition is like for me. Just give a little intro about it. So
Okay.
intuition is the ability to understand or know something without the need for conscious reasoning. And before I learned like a proper definition for it, I used to feel like I always felt this way. I know things, but I don't know how I know them, right?
Right, right,
Yes,
exactly.
right. So that's what intuition is. And it's that inner feeling or gut sense that guides you, often appearing as a subtle knowing or instinct about a situation or a person or a decision. Intuition can help you make quick, instinctive choices based on your inner wisdom. And we're all endowed with intuition. It's part of our spiritual makeup, but most of us are not attuned to it. Even when the force is strong with us, we're still not attuned. So I'm not going to go deep into this part, but I'm going to do, because I'm going to do an episode on this part here. But I do want to mention something about the five clairs, right?
Okay.
We all have a degree of one or all of the five clears. That is clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentiments, sentience, claircognizance, and um, clairalliance. Yeah. And so the five clears are different aspects of intuition that help us receive information from beyond the ordinary senses. These clears are unique ways our intuition communicates with us, guiding us with insight, offering that can help us navigate life with greater clarity. And each of the five clears offers a different way to access intuitive information, allowing us to connect with our inner wisdom in our own ways.
Mm.
So if we can develop awareness and tune into these intuitive abilities, we can strengthen our connection to our intuition, receive more clarity and guidance in all areas of life. So the five clairs are this. And like I said, I'm not going to go deep into them. I'm just going to mention them. So stay tuned for my video. But clairvoyance, right?
Mm.
Clairvoyance means clear seeing. Clairvoyance is the ability to see visions or images not through the physical eye,
Mm-hmm.
but instead through the third eye. It involves receiving information or insights through mental images. Some people have that very strongly. You'll hear about clairvoyant seers and stuff.
Right.
Um, I am not, my senses of seeing are not that strong, right? Then you have the clear audience,
Mm-hmm.
and that means clear hearing,
Mm-hmm.
where you're receiving messages or guidance from spirit guides through clear auditory perceptions. So you have a direct line to hearing, communication that extends beyond the physical realm, and that facilitates um, communication on a nonverbal, energetic level. So I hear things,
Mm-hmm.
right? I always have.
Okay.
It's like an inner voice, but it's almost audible. It's so hard to explain, but I've always said I could hear God talking to me. A lot of us can hear like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Clear sentience means clear feeling. You can feel things, energies, emotions, or physical sensations from the spiritual or energetic realm. I can feel things external, or I can feel it in my body, right? When you are clear sentient, you can use the energy you feel to identify and heal imbalances. Some people have that gift of healing, and learning about people and things by touching objects and stuff like that, right?
Okay.
And so you can heal, and they can heal. You hear about energy healers and spiritual healers. They can heal imbalances in the energy field, which helps people to work towards restoring harmony and balance and promotes overall well-being. And this is why I can be a visualization guide, because I have that heightened sense.
Okay.
And clear lines means clear smelling. Some people can smell things, I don't know, right? And then you have clear gustance, meaning clear tasting, but clear cognizance means clear knowing. And that's kind of the one that we're focusing on today. This is when we have knowledge of people or events that we would not normally have knowledge about. Spirit impresses us with truths that simply pop into our minds from out of nowhere. Claircognizance, there's often no practical explanation for why we suddenly know something.
Mm-hmm.
And people with strong claircognizant abilities often make intuitive decisions effortlessly,
Mm.
right? By
Okay.
trusting a deep sense of knowing to make the decisions and choices. And this innate knowing can guide decision making processes, leading to outcomes aligned with higher purpose. So, this all falls into the discussion of intuition, and I'll talk about that another time, right? I
Mm-hmm.
just thought it relevant to mention since we're talking about intuition. So,
Okay.
you ask me how often do I rely on my intuition when making decisions, especially in stressful situations? And my answer is very often,
Okay.
very often. And it didn't used to be like that, but I've made enough mistakes to realize that I need to pay attention and listen to what I'm hearing and feeling. So
Mm-hmm.
now I know to ask questions and write the answers down and not be in such a hurry that I don't get a good answer. That's why we're not getting good, clear answers. We're in a hurry and we're not listening. Like the video that I did said, right? We need to slow down and listen. But learning to listen takes time to practice. Most of us are not aware of our intuition and we don't give it a second thought, but it's always guiding us, always guiding us. And then sometimes we just straight up ignore it. We can sense that something is not right, that maybe that's not the right way to go, but we just ignore it because we don't trust or we don't feel like we all, or some of us feel like we always have to be in control,
Right.
right?
So when you write down, and that's a great example, and I never thought of that I thought about that, writing it down,
Yeah.
you know. And how long do you, because you're saying slow down, so how long do you before when you write it down, then you take a step towards whatever direction you're going to go in? How long does it for you? Or how long when you're talking to your clients that you're helping, what kind of time frame?
Well, yeah, it all depends on the circumstance, and it can be immediate and it can be weeks,
Okay.
days. It just
Right.
depends on the circumstance. When the answer becomes clear to you about what you should do, then you can take action. And sometimes it is true, you ask an important question. Sometimes answers take a long time to come. It
Yeah.
is not always instant,
Right.
right? Sometimes it takes a while to come through. Because sometimes there is a process for the answer to follow to come to you, and then
Right.
sometimes it's instant. So, but when you write things down, it becomes clearer.
Okay. And I know for me, because I'm using myself as an example, ho- some sometimes I'm second guessing myself, saying, thinking, okay, is this really my intuition? I'm getting better about it, but in the
Right.
beginning, I'm second guessing myself. What would be some methods or techniques that you might tell your clients to really be able to listen and know that they're listening to their intuition?
When it feels okay, I think there's a somewhere in here where I was going to talk about overthinking, what which some of us are so good at doing.
Yes.
But when our intuition gives us a sense of calm
Okay.
and gives us a direction that feels that's separate from, and we have become so good at messing this up that we don't even recognize when we're getting a straight answer, right? Because we're so accustomed to the overthinking. But the
Overthinking.
overthinking part is the part that feels muddled and confused and you're frustrated and you don't know
Mm,
which way to go, while the intuition is saying, go here.
Okay.
calmly
Okay.
and gently. Go
So
here.
it's about the feeling that you're getting. If you're saying if
Right.
it's a calm feeling, then that's your intuition telling you this is the direction. When it's muddled or when it's, doesn't feel good, then
Mm-hmm.
that's when you're probably overthinking.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. That's thank you because that has all I'm a big overthinker on
Yeah.
everything and especially when trying to run a business and trying to get it
Yeah.
off the ground. I'm constantly overthinking. Am I doing this right? Am I doing that? Yes. Okay. Thank
Here's
you.
the thing with overthinking. Here's the thing I tell overthinkers. Look, if you get the message, if you miss the message and you make a decision and you feel like that's not quite the decision you should have made, it's okay. Make another decision.
Hmm.
Ask another question and make another decision.
Okay.
But the important thing is you are moving. You
Okay.
are still moving. You're still um, moving forward. You're not stagnant. You're not stuck. You're not back here um, bound by indecision. You've made a decision. It brought
Okay.
you here. You can ask another question, right? And then
Right.
make another decision trying to get closer to your goal.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So, can you think of a time when following your intuition helped you avoid unnecessary stress?
Girl,
And what did it feel like? What did it feel like?
there are so many stories. There are so many that, girl, you know I have stories too. But there are so many. But the one that popped into my mind, and is the, oh my gosh, this one here. The one that popped into, anyway, um, yeah, many times, too many to count. And some of literally, and I
Mhm.
mean literally, saved my life.
Okay.
But I can remember fighting, um, fighting back after I got fed up of being bullied at school. And
Mm,
I remember sitting in class one day and the bully and his gang surrounded me,
mm.
right? And they were taunting me and teasing me. And man, I was so upset. But that day I decided that that was it. That was going to be the last day I was going to put up with this foolishness. And I sat there, as I sat there, and they were carrying on. And I kept saying to myself, just let one of them touch me today. I said, just let one of them touch me today. Please just let one of them touch me.
Uh,
Somebody pushed that boy toward me, and before he even made contact, I grabbed him and I beat the daylights out. I had had
okay.
enough. I beat him and I dragged him out of the class, and I was about to throw him over the railing. We were on the
Oh.
second floor, and I
Oh.
was about to drop him over the railing, right? And I heard something strongly say, "Don't do it."
Yeah.
It said strongly, "Don't do it." If I had thrown him over the railing that day, there's no telling what would have happened, right? I don't even want to
Right.
think about it right now.
Right. Right.
So I hear that voice and that spoke to me that day, and that voice continues to speak to me today in negative or positive situations, right? I
Hmm.
hear it clearly. It's very strong and very clear, but it guided me um um to will me to it guided me to will them, the bullies, to make a move. And it was
Mm.
meant for me to defend myself that day because they never bothered me again.
Oh,
But
okay.
I was only supposed to teach them a lesson and end the bullying, not seriously hurt him or worse, right?
Right.
So if I had not heard that voice and listened to that voice, I would have dropped the boy over the railing and God
Mm.
knows what would have happened,
Right. Right.
right?
Right.
So
Exactly.
that was one strong memory of where my intuition guided me to keep me out of trouble.
Okay. And in your business, how have you used your intuition to guide you in your business?
Oh, and yeah, that's good too, because I get a lot of invitations
Mhm.
and a lot of invitations for collaborations and things.
Mhm.
And in my gut, my business is very young, yes.
Yeah.
And one would be tempted to grab at any opportunity that presents itself. But in my gut, very often I know this is not a collaboration for you.
Okay.
This is not going to work out for you. This is not where you want to put your energy.
Okay.
This is not the reputation you want. You know what I mean?
Right,
So,
right.
yeah. So, I'm learning to not accept everything that comes my way in my business.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And that's hard. I mean, because mine is a young business as well.
Yeah.
And that's true. You really have to look at everything and like you said, let your intuition guide you in the
Yeah.
direction. Because I even have to
Yeah.
tell myself, when I was looking for women, or still am looking for women to come on and so
Yeah.
forth, I also have to remind myself and not get in my feelings if someone says no, or
Right.
they're not really interested, because then I have to realize then that's not meant for what I'm trying to do. That's not
Correct.
gonna be a good fit.
Correct. Correct.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
so what are some ways you can tune into your intuition when you're feeling overwhelmed or uncertain?
Are uncertain. Okay. So, one effective way, and this is so simple, and we hear it all the time, but we don't often practice it, but it's so simple. One effective way to do this is by taking a few deep breaths,
Mm-hmm.
calm the nervous system, and open up channels for receiving guidance. Just slow down, take a few breaths,
Mm-hmm.
calm down, and open up the channels for you to receive guidance. And this creates space for you to listen more clearly to your inner voice.
Mm-hmm.
You can also practice grounding techniques like walking barefoot on the earth,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mentioned this at work the other day that I like to go barefoot as often as possible. And some people were completely appalled. How can you go barefoot? And they talk about the germs and everything. But I'm like, my nerve, my um what you call it when you
Immune
don't get very
system?
sick.
Hmm?
When you what do you call it when you don't often get sick?
Your
Your
immune system. Your immune system?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's so strong. I don't get sick. Y'all are always thinking sniffling. But yeah, walking barefoot on the earth, focusing your senses, and this helps you connect, right,
Mhm.
with the present moment. Walking also is a great time to have conversations with yourself. A lot of answers come through during walking. I don't know if
Yes.
you notice how much you talk to yourself when you're walking.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
It
yes,
might not, you might not be verbalizing it, but in your head,
yes,
yes. Yes.
exactly, exactly. So a lot of answers can come to you while you're walking. And another method is to engage in quiet reflection or meditation, where
Yes.
you simply allow your thoughts to settle.
Yes.
Turn off the social media, let Netflix be, and spend some time with the intention to get some answers.
Right. Right.
During this time, you can ask yourself a question or focus on a particular issue you're facing and trust that your intuition will offer guidance, often in the form of subtle feelings, subtle images, or subtle thoughts.
I've
And
noticed. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, we talked about writing earlier. Journaling is a great
Yes.
tool. We can't overemphasize how important or helpful journaling is. By writing down your feelings or concerns, you can create a dialogue with yourself, and that helps you to gain clarity and receive intuitive thoughts.
Right.
And lastly, just Trust the small nudges or gut feelings that you might get. Those are often whispers of your intuition guiding you toward what is right for you. I tell people just slow down, get
Yeah.
quiet and listen. But I do realize that it's not easy for most of us. It's not easy. We're too busy. We need to maintain control. We don't trust and we don't trust ourselves. So many people resist this simple act of writing things down. And when you write, you slow down your thoughts.
Yes. Hmm.
Although writing,
And I just want to say, when you say writing, also, you mean actual pen or pencil to paper, not on a computer. Because I
right.
find for me, when I'm actually physically writing, which I know it's a lost art, but you're actually physically writing, it does make you slow down and have to think. And it also, at least for me, because I have to slow down and think, it also calms my central nervous system. I can feel everything just kind of relaxing and calming down.
That's it.
Yeah, so being on the
That's it.
computer and typing it out, it's not the same thing as
It's
physically
not the
writing it.
same. It's not the same. Yeah. So
Oh,
yeah. So we feel like we can't write fast enough because your thoughts are still racing, but believe me, it's still slower. Your
right.
thoughts are still slower when you're writing, and writing allows you to organize your
Yeah.
thoughts,
Organize your
right?
thoughts. Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that helps us overthinkers because then we do have to slow down and organize the thoughts and then not having our mind go in 12 different directions. Oh
Correct.
yeah,
Correct.
definitely, definitely.
Correct.
That's a very good practice that more people, even if it's not a whole lot, maybe it's just one or two sentences, or maybe it's just, quick short sentences. It doesn't have to be, a
Yeah.
thesis. It doesn't have to be, two or three, full
No.
paragraphs, but it makes you slow down and really think, what is going on in my head?
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. And when you write it and put it out there and look at it,
yeah,
it becomes clearer to you when you're
right.
actually looking at it. And notice how you feel,
Hmm.
right?
Feeling, yeah.
Um,
We've
yeah,
gotten so far away from getting in touch with our feelings because
that's
we're,
right.
especially as Black women, they're, oh, you're being whatever the stereotype they want
Yes,
to say. You're being too, you're being too touchy-feely, or you're being too emotional. But that's when we really get in touch with who our inner self really is.
exactly.
Yeah.
And when you begin to connect with yourself like that and begin to develop your spirituality, they are quick to call to put labels
Right.
on you like
Right, to put labels on it.
like you're
Right.
losing it, but that's okay.
That's
That's okay.
right.
Don't pay them no mind. You are getting in
Exactly.
touch with yourself, and that's not the way of most people,
No.
right? But yeah, but notice how you feel because your mind can send certain signals to your body, or you
Yeah.
can pick up certain vibrations that feel intense in your body, and
Yeah.
these can be negative or positive, by the way, right? But start paying attention to how you feel. If you're feeling stress in your body,
Hmm.
you know you have to change something.
Right, right. That's your body. That's your intuition telling you, hey, this is not necessarily the right
Something's
thing to
up.
do. Something's off. Exactly.
Something's off, right?
Exactly. So we touched a little bit on this, and maybe I don't know if you had anything to add to it. So how can distinguishing between intuition and overthinking help reduce stress?
Yeah. So distinguishing between intuition and overthinking is crucial for reducing stress because it helps you make clearer, more confident decisions without getting trapped in unnecessary worry. A lot of us are trapped in unnecessary worry. So, intuition is a calm, instinctive knowing, often felt as a gut feeling or an inner sense of direction.
Right.
It feels grounded and doesn't demand analysis or excessive mental energy
Mm-hmm.
like overthinking on the other hand is when the mind gets caught in a loop of doubts
Right.
and the what ifs and the endless scenarios and which could lead to paralysis and heightened stress.
And
So
I was gonna say that's another good thing when you said paralysis, and I know I don't think you mean physical paralysis, but
right.
paralysis on you're not moving forward. you're
Correct.
stuck because you're overthinking. That
Correct.
is also has been an issue with me. So the meditation and the journaling have really helped me break free from that. So,
Yes. Yes.
okay.
But you want to practice so you can recognize the difference, so you can trust your intuitive insights to guide you quickly while setting aside the mental chatter that tends to amplify fear and anxiety, right? So the more you
Mhm.
allow all that chatter in your is the more it feeds uncertainty. And then now when you focus on intuition, you make decisions from a place of clarity and self-trust, right?
Yeah.
You write
Yeah.
the things down and you're able to see more clearly what's up. Then you make decisions from a place of clarity and self-trust, which can reduce that anxiety and give you a sense of peace. A simple way to tell the difference is to notice how each feels in your body. We mentioned that before.
Mhm.
Intuition often feels calm and clear, while overthinking may feel chaotic or tight in the chest or in the mind,
Okay.
right? And the more you practice distinguishing between the two, the more easily you can lean into your intuitive guidance. And that's going to help you reduce stress and make you feel more empowered and make more present choices throughout your day.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I know it's hard, especially if you're out in the corporate world and because we're always constantly, it's always this.
Yeah,
And it does make it a little more complicated to have to slow down, but we have to figure out, whether it's, doing some meditation at lunch or wherever you
yeah,
can find 5 minutes to do that.
yeah,
We really have to do that because, yeah, it is impacting our mind, it's impacting our bodies, and impacting our overall well-being. So, yeah,
yeah.
that's definitely something that we need to all get better at.
Yeah, because I find myself during the day at work breathing, slowing down, visualizing, meditating
Mhm.
during the day at work because the
Yeah,
days at work are so daggone stressful, so demanding. You
right.
can lose yourself in the demands of the day. So you
Exactly.
can take 5 minutes here and there to ground yourself.
Exactly. Exactly. So we talked about practices such as meditation and journaling that can help you connect more deeply with your intuitive self during stressful moments. Is anything else you want to add to that besides the meditation and journaling? You
Yeah,
talked about grounding. Um,
yeah,
is there anything else that, because everybody might not be into the journaling, and,
right,
and meditation is a practice. You can't just do it once and think that you have it down. It's a practice.
right.
So when you're working with your clients, are there other practices that you kind of, if they say, I can't, meditation's too hard for me, and I don't like to ride, and all kind of excuses. Where do you tell them, or what do you tell them that they need to do? Where do you have them start?
We have so many options, so many options. And you said it, the meditation, the journaling, the walking, rest. A
Mm.
lot of people have trouble just go take a nap. I
Oh,
have friends who
yes.
refuse. They have to be always on the go. And I'm like, how do you do that? Don't you understand how much your body needs rest?
Oh, yes.
Oh, one of my friends is so addicted to working out. I'm like, child, your
Mm.
body needs as much rest as you need to work out, right?
Right,
So
right.
rest is one. Drinking water. Drinking
Mm.
water is another one.
Yeah.
Drinking water can be a deeply healing meditative practice. And if people
Okay.
come to my clinic, they'll learn a little bit more about what I mean about the sacredness of drinking water and how water can literally calm your nervous system down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, and visualization. Now there's yoga,
Mhm.
right? There is yoga some people can do. Simple stretching. Simple stretching can calm you down and put
Okay.
you in a meditative state. Something I do, forest bathing, going out in the forest and spending time out with the trees and the bushes and stuff,
Hmm.
sitting on the ground, meditating out there, right?
Okay.
So many things we can do. There's art. Some people do art.
Art
That's
therapy.
meditative.
Yeah.
Some people do music. I am often reminded to put on my music. Music is so transformative.
Good
Right.
music. Good music.
Good music, good music.
And
We
I know people will say, well, that's subjective. What is good music? But there are different frequencies, and that's what we don't realize. There are different frequencies in music that calm the nerve or overstimulate the nerve, the
correct,
central nervous system. So there,
correct, correct. You're right. And then some people do crafts, right? Or
mhm.
any kind of designing or making something. All of these can help you connect more deeply with your intuitive self in stressful moments.
I know for me, I like to go because I'm in California, so and we're right near the water. So I like to go sometimes just go walk near the marina, go walk near the ocean. And
Yeah,
that because I know what is it, the negative ions? I was reading something, but I think the
yeah,
negative ions help with, the healing and just getting you into that more calming uh state. So
yeah,
that's one of my things. I love to hear, even just hearing the water is just very
yeah.
soothing to me. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. So
And
yeah, there are a lot of things available to us to help
right.
us step into ourselves.
So do you trust your intuition in more? Do you trust your intuition more in certain areas of your life?
Um, so I don't know that I consciously lean on intuition and feel more attuned to my inner feelings and instincts in certain areas
Hmm.
more than others, like work or health. I sometimes lean more on logic and external factors in these
Okay.
areas, but I've learned that trusting my intuition in these areas can be just as helpful. I'm learning,
Okay.
right? In relationships, for example, I found that listening to my gut can guide me toward the right people and help me navigate conflicts with greater ease.
Okay.
Um, at work, trusting my intuition has allowed me to make quicker decisions or recognize opportunities that might not be immediately obvious. Like when I applied to the same company, I applied, I saw a job come up on Indeed, and I looked at the company and I thought, interesting company. Let me check them out. So I applied for the job.
Uh,
And I got turned down. I got, well, the gentleman apparently wasn't very impressed with me. Okay, so I said, okay, a little disappointed, but I let it go. So
mm-hmm.
maybe the next week I saw another position appear for the same damn company.
No.
I said, I'm applying for this job and I
Yeah.
don't care if it's the same manager that interviews me. I
Uh,
applied for the job and I got it, right?
uh,
And I became so successful on that job, right? So
right.
that was one instance I used my intuition regarding work. Well, when it comes to health,
Hmm.
tuning into how my body feels often gives me the guidance I need to take better care of myself, whether it's needing rest or making a lifestyle change, right? But
Hmm.
increasing trust in my intuition across all areas of life helps reduce stress because it allows me to make decisions more confidently without second guessing or overthinking instead of feeling overwhelmed and by uncertainty. I mean, I can trust that the answers are already within me.
Right.
So when I
Okay.
rely on my intuition, I feel more aligned and at peace, knowing I'm acting in a way that's true to myself. And this kind of trust reduces anxiety because I'm no longer looking outside of myself for validation or reassurance, but instead I'm looking inward and trusting the wisdom that I already possess.
Yes. That says it all because that's we have to look for that validation within. We cannot expect someone else Sorry about that. That was my dog. I we
Okay.
cannot expect someone else to give us that validation, whether it's a life partner, your husband, your children, none of that. You have to, that has to come from within.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Um, how might increasing the trust help you manage your stress? So if you're trusting your intuition more, how is that helping you to reduce your stress or even manage your stress?
Well, yeah, if you're listening to your own inner wisdom and then you are following the wisdom that you are listening to, you're going to avoid certain stressful situations. You're going to be making better decisions that serve you better,
Mhm,
right? As opposed to
mhm.
not listening and then just going any which way the wind blows, and finding yourself into situations that are not conducive to your well-being,
Right.
you know. So yeah, listening to your inner wisdom is going to eventually help you create behaviors that serve you and therefore lower your stress.
So do you find, because I know we talk about listening to our inner self, our inner guidance. So listening to other people. So,
Hmm.
and I know this is a pop-up question on you, but we know we want to listen to our family, we want to listen to our friends, we want to get the best advice we can from them. But at what point do we need to say, hey, I'm going to listen to me? I understand you guys have my best interest at heart, but I'm going to listen to me. And that's sometimes that's hard for us, especially as women. That's hard for us to realize that we're if we're listening to our inner self, our intuition, then we 9 times out of 10, I believe, we're going to do the right thing. But when you have other folks, outside influences, how do we kind of know when to listen to them versus listen to what our inner self is saying?
Well,
Without feeling like, oh, I'm going to let them down or whatever it might be.
yeah. And so the answer is in the question. And it's about self-prioritization. And here's the thing, the better you take care of yourself, the better you're able to take care of others, right? When you're
Right.
doing what is true to you, eventually that serves the people around you better.
Okay.
So you have, I mean, again, it's going to take practice and it's going to feel uncomfortable when you begin to practice this. But to be true to yourself is the highest calling. It's the highest form of self-love. So if
Mhm.
you love yourself enough, you will eventually figure out, listen, I know that you mean well your advice, and the advice might be the one you go to, and your intuition will tell you that that person's advice is good for you. But ultimately, you make the decision whether you're going to follow that advice or whether you're going to listen to your own intuition.
Right.
And so you get to a place where hopefully we all get to a place where we trust ourselves enough. We learn to trust ourselves enough to make the best decision for us, and be able to, in a gentle manner, relay that decision to our loved ones,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Under let them know I've considered your input and I value it. However, this is what I feel I need to do for me.
Right. And we have to get to that point where we feel comfortable doing that. Because I know a lot of times we don't. We feel like, well, maybe I'm not making the right decision because you don't trust yourself. You haven't learned to trust your intuition. And like
Yeah,
we said, that takes time. That takes
yeah, it takes
practice.
time. It takes practice. It
Right.
does.
Right. So how can listening to your intuition help you set boundaries and prioritize what truly matters?
Yeah. Yeah. And see, um, My body, my body is very reactive.
Mhm.
I feel things. I feel vibrations. I feel electricity. So my body tells me when things aren't right, are not going right, or it might be telling me to pay attention because a message is coming through. Now, listening to your intuition can be a powerful tool for setting boundaries and
Mhm.
prioritizing what truly matters because it helps you tune into your inner values and your needs.
Yeah.
When you listen to your intuition, you become more aware of what feels right for you and what drains your energy.
Right. Right.
And this clarity allows you to recognize when to say yes and when to say no without guilt or overthinking.
Yeah.
Again, these things take practice.
Yeah.
But if you want to go against your intuition, you're inviting unnecessary stress. We talked about following our intuition and how that relieves stress. When you
Right.
go against their intuition, you're inviting unnecessary stress. For example, if your intuition might tell you when you're taking on too much or when a commitment doesn't align with your true priorities.
Yeah. Mhm.
So, by trusting that inner guidance, you're able to set clear boundaries that protect your time, your energy, and your emotional well being. And when you listen to that quiet voice that says, "This doesn't feel right," or "I need to take time for myself," you prevent stress from building up and you're no longer overextending yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I, and I mentioned before earlier that um regarding some networking or collaboration opportunities, I've been really discerning about who I say yes to. When people invite me, my intuition tells me loud and clear who to avoid and who it feels right to work with. And
Well,
that's
then I feel honored that you said yes.
yeah, well, yeah,
I
yeah,
feel honored.
yeah. Yes, because it lines up, because this lines up with my priorities
Yeah.
and where I'm headed, and what I'm about.
Okay.
And the energy feels right. You know
Well,
what I mean?
good. Thank you.
Yeah,
I felt the same way. I was like, this, yeah, because
yeah.
that's been my journey for the past year and a half, almost 2 years from where I started to where I'm at now. And I know it's an ongoing, it's always ongoing. You're always learning, hopefully, and you're always practicing to get better and, being able to tap into your inner self and your higher self and your
Yeah.
ancestors and all that good stuff. So it's a constant learning and it's a constant
Constant
growing.
learning,
Yeah.
constant learning. And I'm on a journey to get to my higher self. I, you know, I used to teach people about getting back to their original self, but I've come to realize what I'm wanting to do is catch up with my original self,
Okay.
right? There's nothing to go back to. I'm trying to catch up because my original self has always been evolving. She's always there. She's always been growing and learning. She has
Mhm.
all this wisdom for me. So now I am consciously trying to catch up with that higher person,
Mm,
right?
right.
So all this work that I'm doing, a lot of people don't spend the time to do internal work. They're
Mm.
more focused with what's going on outside of them.
Outside.
But
Mhm.
let us journey to our higher selves, right?
Okay.
Therefore, when we receive the houses and the cars and the trips and all this kind of thing, it's more meaningful,
Right.
right?
Right. Right. And sometimes even having all that stuff can make, at least in my thinking, can make things more stressful because
Exactly.
you're so busy trying to get these outward satisfaction
Yes.
when, really it's the inward satisfaction that's most important.
My point exactly. My
Yeah.
point exactly.
Yeah.
So let's put as much effort into our inner being as
Hmm.
we put into amassing external things,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. Exactly. So I have one more question for you, and then I want to talk about your clinic.
Mm-hmm.
My final question. What does being unapologetically 50 plus mean to you?
You know what it means to me? I often say that my life began in my 50s.
Yeah.
Life began in my 50s because
I
I don't
agree.
know what I was
Yes.
doing. I don't know what I was doing until I turned 50.
We were struggling to survive. That's what we were
Yeah,
doing.
exactly that. Exactly that. I'm telling you, so I kind of woke up when I turned 54. I woke up when I turned 54 and I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, who is this person? I gotta get to know this person. And
Yeah.
then I started focusing on the childhood dreams, the dreams I had from childhood. And I said, but
Mhm.
I wanted to do this and this and this and this and this, and I haven't done them yet. So let me start doing them now. So
Okay.
even school, I went back to school, still back in school. And
Congratulations.
I ain't gonna quit until I get that degree, just because, not because I need it for employment, but just
Right.
because it's gonna make me
Simply for
feel,
you.
yes,
Yes.
to satisfy
Exactly.
something in me.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's what 50s mean to me, man, is doing the things that fulfilling your dreams, your childhood dreams.
Okay. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah.
At all. So tell us about the clinic. I mean, I took your clinic and I thought it was really amazing. It was very eye-opening. It gave me a lot of things to think about.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
my own journey. So
Yeah.
tell us some more about your clinic.
It's amazing the feedback I've been getting about the clinic. I know one sister said that was, how she put it, that was earthquake level work that was done,
Mm, mm-hmm.
right? In her
Yeah.
particular case. And
Mm-hmm.
she said she'll never be the same. Another sister said it unleashed something in her, and she has found herself more creative, more energized doing this. And I'm like, yes, we cleared some blockages.
Right.
Yes. So I'm not surprised you're feeling that way. And other people are just saying it's been amazing. Okay. So
Right.
that's what some people are saying about the clinic. I put together a good clinic. I'm gonna big up myself for that. I put together a good program, right?
Right.
It will change your life. It's transformative, right? Um, so as a visualization guide, I lead a group of individuals either on a 3 hour group in visualization session, or I'll do one-on-ones. Now,
Mm-hmm.
visualization is a power tool we don't use enough because we don't know how. But what is visualization, you might ask? It's seen with, I'm telling people at work about visualization, and I am I'm doing all these wonderful things at work and making all these sales and stuff, and people are wondering, how are you doing that? How are you doing that? I tell them visualization, and they're like, what is visualization? Well,
Right.
visualization is seeing with the mind's eyes outcomes you want for yourself and then making them a reality. It's
Okay.
a manifestation practice, and it helps accelerate your goals so that you can manifest them faster. Now, there may be blockages that are hindering your manifestation. And in my clinic, we clear those. We clear some of those. It's really very intense. We do deep transformative work. We begin with a creator
Mm-hmm.
initiation ceremony. And I love what one sister put on her vision board. She put, um, as a co-creator with the universe, and she put her goal, and I just love that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yes.
we are co-creators with the universe. So we have a creator initiation ceremony, so you can step into your goal as co-creator.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, so it's called We Are Creators Visualization Clinic, and it's a clinic because it's practical. It's practical, and it's not just theoretical, and it's deep. It's a deeply healing space. And this collective energy of creativity is an important part of the clinic. So
Mm-hmm.
you could do some of these things at home by yourself. right? But here,
Right.
when you're among like-minded individuals, it becomes more intense. The energy is more amplified. Um, and it allows that collective focus and the shared intention to deepen the individual practice and enhance creative flow. and
Mhm.
um and then it fosters mutual support, and creates a powerful space where the strength of the group elevates everyone's journey beyond what might be possible alone. We'll do some healing light visualization. We'll do the same method that I used to heal my legs, right? I had intense pain in my legs and I've healed that, and I've healed some emotional pain. There'll be some chanting. Yes,
Mhm.
it's a little woo woo, but you're safe.
Right.
People heard
Yeah.
about that, the woo woo aspect and the thing, and they become nervous about taking the clinic. But then when they take the clinic, they get it and they're happy that they have taken it, and it's nothing to be nervous about.
Right. Right. Now,
Yeah.
do you find that women from all backgrounds, meaning religious backgrounds, um, get um, get something out of your clinic?
Okay, some people they come in, they're resistant, right? Because they don't understand it. And they're some people who are very Christian might feel like this goes against my Christian teachings.
Yeah.
But people don't even think of mysticism in Christianity. They don't put those two together. So
Right.
it's a spiritual practice, but it's not bound to any particular religion. So
Right.
it's safe for everybody to practice, right?
Right.
These
Right.
are gifts to us from the universe or from
Right.
God that we use to enhance our lives and our experience here on earth. They are gifts free for us to use, and they're available to all of us, regardless
Right.
of what you believe,
Right.
right?
Now, will this, because the clinic I took, are you going to have any other clinics, like a clinic one, two, three, or is it
Yes,
okay?
yes. Clinic 2 is going to, if you thought Clinic 1 was intense, wait till you get to Clinic 2, because in Clinic 2, we are going to focus on you,
Mm,
right? In
okay.
Clinic 1, we did an overall thing,
Right. Right.
right? In
Right.
Clinic 1, the focus is going to be on you, developing you, connecting you to your highest self,
Okay.
right? That's going
Okay.
clinic 2. And then clinic 3 is going to be a deeper dive into the mysticism of it all.
No, okay. Okay. Is okay. So in the link, I mean, in the description below, y'all will be a link to get to sign up for her clinic. So is this clinic one you're doing again or
So
clinic two?
yes, clinic 1
Okay.
is coming up on January 14th at 3 p.m.,
Okay.
right? So if you need to clear your calendar for 3 hours, do that and come join us January 14th at 3 p.m. And the
Mhm.
link, you say you have the link there?
Yep,
Yes.
I'll put it, yeah, it's gonna be in the description below. Mm-hmm.
So there's an early bird sign up that offers you a $50 discount.
Mm,
And that goes on till January 5th. After January 5th, then that $50 discount goes away. And by the way, sis, Angela,
yeah.
anyone signs up for the clinic coming from this show,
Mhm.
you get a $25, um, do I want to call it commission?
Hi.
Something, gift or something. Yes. If anyone
Okay.
joins through this show, I
Yeah.
am offering people who refer people
Right.
$25. So
Okay, okay, sounds good. Well, yeah, you guys sign up, not for the 25, but just because it is a great clinic. I really enjoyed it. I do look forward to clinic two and clinic three. So when that happens, I will be joining. But yes, go to the clinic. You'll get a lot of wisdom, a lot of tips to help you just really get grounded and connected. And I really enjoyed, even the what was it? vision board. Yes, the
Vision
vision
board.
board really, I know people talk about vision boards, but when you do it as a collective, you do feel that energy because everybody is trying to help each other. So it's really, yeah, it's a great clinic. So check it out, you guys. You can't, it's good. It's good.
Yes, it's good. It's good for you. It is
It
good for
is.
you.
It
Seriously.
is. It is. It is. We need it. We all need it. We all need it.
Yeah.
So that is going to be the end of this week's episode.
Okay.
And I really appreciate Winsome coming on and talking to us about intuition. Please, you guys, if you like anything, if you found any value in this podcast, please remember to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It helps us build this community. And come on back because we will have more lovely ladies. And I'm going to invite Winsome back so we can talk about some other stuff. She has a wealth of knowledge. But join us again next week, and I look forward to seeing everybody. All right, you guys.
Yay.
Thank you so much for joining us. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.